everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, I'm going to go through some tips here. We're going to do 5 tips for efficient gameplay.
The finest blood for the most untainted soul.
So this is something that can help beginners, experienced, whatever. There might be some little tips here that you didn't even notice, so I kind of want to make sure everyone's aware and thinks about these things when you're doing your dailies or your grind. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about our raids. Our experience and our gold raid. So this is an important part of the game. Experience raids, you should be blasting them. I haven't even tried to do chapter 9 to be able to unlock my stage 8 yet, so don't judge me too harsh. But it's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, I've been farming stage 7. And I think this is kind of obvious, but I'm still going to say it. Never farm the experience raid unless you have the experience boost turned on. Never do it without it. It's just not worth it. Luckily, you can get the experience boost in a lot of ways. It's in the arena shop for very cheap every day. And or every week? Every week. 35 is very cheap. Go ahead and buy it there. And then if you're really doing a serious grind and you've already bought it from the experience shop, you can buy one here with diamonds. It's totally fine to do that. It's totally acceptable to use your diamonds for stamina and experience boosts here once you're in the end game grind, and farming for gear is the most important thing. This is where you want to spend your diamonds, less on summons, more on the grind to make your heroes better and level them up. So on the same note, there's also, of course, the gold bonus. So they have changed or are changing with the next update. The cost of the gold bonus and letting you have 2 in the guild shop here. But it's not that good. It's too expensive still, but I would still do it. If you are going to farm the gold raid because you want to get yourself quite a few million gold coin to be able to level up a ton of stuff, and you don't want to overly stress about sorting your gear at the moment, you just want to get a bunch of gold, 100% do not do it unless this is turned on. And along with this, tip number 1, when it comes to experience and gold raids, don't do it unless you're going to blast 2, 3, 4,000 stamina. And I really mean that. It's just not worth it if you're not going to do at least a few thousand stamina to accept those potions. If that's the case, just save it when you can. It's actually pretty cheap to get stamina. Buying these potions is so much smarter. We have the daily stuff. Like, I have a huge stash of them. But, like, even without this, being free to play, I did the same thing for the beginning of my free to play account that I was playing. 100% just focused, or was planning to, save diamonds to focus for stamina. Once I had a decent enough roster to where I have enough stuff to work with, where you have good people that know you want good gear for. And again, a continued note on this tip number 1. This is an extended tip. So, experience raids, gold raids. There's 2 characters you need to remember. If you have them, get them in there. Both of them, one of them, whatever you got. So, we're going to talk, of course, about Captain Rev has this bonus. Passive, extra gold obtained from battles, 6%. And if you have Razak and Captain Rev in this owned, it's 6% more. So 12% increase. But even if you don't have Razak, you can still use Captain Rev's gold bonus. So make sure he's in that battle for both experience and gold raid if you're farming. And same thing for Razak, as we're saying, Razak is the same. He has a 5% experience boost as a normal passive, and then 5% more if you have Captain Rev as well. But you do not need to have both to still get this 5%. So this could be 10% if you have both, but if you only have one, it's still 5% bonus, which is going to add up a ton over time. So make sure you get them involved. They do need to be in the battle and actually used for it to work. I did notice that. But just another reminder, if you guys pulled them and forgot to update your experience rates, even if it's slower, who cares how slow it is, just go get them involved. Alright, tip number 2 is for the faction trials. So depending on what you're working on, alright, today is a bad example because this is the same one as the basic trial, the shelter insignias, but let's say it's something different. So let's go on into our Pantheon. When you're going to farm for your daily stuff, like, okay, here, I'm at level 50, I need the purple ones. Obviously, I'm going to farm the highest stage to get the purple shelter insignias 3. But for these other ones, that's not the case. For these other ones, I'm on the blue still. So for those, I'm not gonna farm the highest stage. I'm actually gonna farm a lower stage. It's actually more efficient to farm a lower stage instead of crunching, and I'll show you here. So farming a stage 7 gets you 6 to 9 of these shelter insignias, right? If you go up to 8, you only get 2 to 5 of the purple, and then you double them, and that gives you what? This gets you 3 to 10, but this has a higher floor of 6 to 9. I'd rather gamble to make sure I have a chance to get more every time than hope I roll one more and get the 9 every time. That's less likely to happen. So if you're working on the blue ones for your Hyperion, make sure you're farming stage 7, not stage 8, even if you can do it. And of course, don't forget about assembling and disassembling. If you have low ones and you can increase them to get to the bigger ones, if that's where you're at, make sure you do that as well. Tip number 3 is to always sell your extra rare heroes for diamonds. It's 30 per hero, and that adds up big when you're doing a little summoning session. And don't forget, you even get free heroes while you're doing the experience raids. You can actually get rare heroes. And selling the extras that you're not using or not saving for a fusion is just, you'd be crazy not to. You don't want to use these guys for food. Never, never, never in your quick star up say, consume the rares. It's behind my back here. Boom, consume rare heroes. Don't check that box. You just want to use these 1-star heroes, level them up. Come over here, the 1 stars crunch the 2 stars. And then when you go here, they're always using the commons because they take the least amount of cost for upgrades. So you always want to do it that way to where you're just leveling up the commons, which is why we always, always, always buy all of these from the shop. You should always be doing that as well. If you're grinding pretty well, it's expensive to level up heroes to 6-star. And you want to kind of do this as well. Although don't do this too much because our next tip number 4 is to play with events. So don't go crazy, starring up everything or making new characters 4-star or to 5-star, 5-star to 6-star, promoting them. Don't do that sort of thing unless there's an event. Try to be as efficient as possible. Of course, the exception would be like your first week or two of gameplay. Depending on how fast you're playing, you're gonna just need to work on your account. But once you get to the point where you have things to work on, you could wait a few more days to just level someone up, promote someone. Just do it. It's totally worth the wait. The good thing is you can prep for this. So like we have experience potions, right? Like I said, you could go farm your experience raid now and then wait until Friday when the event pops for... Where is it? Of course, it's not here right now. Is there really not one for once? What the hell? Oh, it's gonna be the tournament, that's why. Hero training. So if it's not the corrosion of, or what is the not cavern of corrosion. What the hell is it called? I always forget the event for the training, but there's hero training here as well. And when it comes to the Oracle Trials, promotions count. And don't worry, starring up people is great. There you go. It was actually funny. I had someone giving really bad advice and like yelling at me for giving bad advice to Ash in one of my videos. And it's like about awakenings. Awakenings don't count. Awakenings don't count for this or the event. So just don't worry. You can awaken. Don't worry. Just awaken. But save your actual levels. Save your crunching if you can. But if you need to make more space, like I just leveled up some lower level ones to make more space to do your summons, that's always smart. But always, always, always try to play with events. So Friday starts a Brave Conquest. You're going to go farm some gear. Sunday starts the level up where you enhance the gear. So for Friday and Saturday, you grind your gear, but don't touch it, don't level it. Wait until Sunday, Monday to actually work on improving the gear, and that's like the best day to go and re-gear your heroes and have some fun with the heroes that you got over the weekend from the summoning event. And my final tip for today's video, tip number 5 for being efficient, is something I definitely did not do today. Try not to let your stamina overcap. Start your day. When you open up the game, especially if you pay for like the monthly card where you get the stamina, like what is it? Every day you get 300 stamina all of a sudden. Just go in and farm something, whatever event is going on. Okay, right now it is Gear Raid 3. Just farm enough to get under the cap so you can start regenerating your stamina. This is true for like every game. It's kind of an obvious efficiency tip, but I still wanted to say it. Like, go ahead, do some auto fights, boom. Or even before that, because it's quicker, actually, no, it doesn't really matter either way, I guess, because they still these are kind of slow. Don't be maxed out on your arena. Let them regenerate as well. So always go ahead and do a couple arena battles when you first get started so you're under the cap of arena so more of those can regenerate. But all right, that's all for today's video, guys. Just talking a little bit about efficiency and trying to kind of not min-max like crazy. I'm not that crazy of a player, but maybe some of these little tips will help you save resources. You want to double dip when possible, especially if you're a low spend or free-to-play player. You don't want to be wasting resources and then the next day realize you just missed out on a bunch of events where you could have had more, or you were farming a dungeon without a boost turned on. You don't want to do that. So you'll be wasting a ton of resources for your account. No matter how much you do or do not spend, you don't want to waste. But yeah, that's all for today's video. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, or for the summoning party on Friday.